Here's your steering components on the Jeep Cherokee. These are out of a 1994 Cherokee Sport. They've been in there the whole time. Here's your tie rod. Here's your centering link. I just cut the hell out of my finger. So that's a good training point. This is where the lengthening and shortening of the tie rod happens, right here. And there's your tooling marks from prior front end alignments. And right there is where the metal is coming loose and got me. So when you're doing work like this, think of the next guy. Let's take a break and clean this up, and we'll start over. Always think of the next guy when you're doing work. Cotter pin, safety wire, metal. My first job as an electrician, I just about cut my thumb off with a hacksaw, and I swear to God, it was in my first 5 minutes on the job. All I could do was tape it up with some electrical tape and keep going. All right, steering components on the Jeep XJ. Here's your centering link. Here's your tie rod. Here's your steering damper. This is supposed to take vibrations out of your steering and suspension. Here's the tie rod ends. That one's worn out. That one's really bad. And that one's the worst of all. Look at that. '94. These have been in there approximately 30 years. When our vibration started, you could feel it in the right side. the right. But who knows when you're trying to figure out where a vibration's coming from. I think we can agree, though, that this was not helping anything. So I was talking to a guy, he swears changing his tie rods corrected his death wobble. And I don't doubt him. On his vehicle, it corrected it. So the front end alignment happens right here. You're either lengthening or shortening this. That's all there is to it. So I'm changing these for a front end vibration at 55 miles an hour. And talking to the owner operator, there was times and turns where death wobble would kick in, so. Let's take a look at the new parts. Here's our new parts. I bought the Detroit axle kit. It's about $360. Centering link. Protective boot. Thread protector for this end. No adjustment here. Cotter pin and Zerk fitting. Tie rod. Threaded bar, basically. You tighten it up with these clamps right here. Different part numbers, and that's because one's going to have left-handed threads and one's going to have right-handed threads. As you turn this, you want both to come in, or turn it the other way, both to go out. Looks like our cotter pins are inside this bag. So this must be the drag link connection, I hope. So this came in a separate box. Let's see what this is. Also a different part number. All right, that's a relief. We got everything we need here. And there's our drag link connection. I wonder why that came with that. Alright, so this is the drag link at the pitman arm. And that's a different diameter. You'd have to be really good to put this in the wrong spot. So that has a Zerk fitting hole here, and this one has it on the side. And this one's non-adjustable right here. Zerk fitting hole. So that one's going to go in here. Left-handed threads. Right-handed threads. So hopefully these are cut correctly in this bar. Right-handed threads. Left-handed threads. That's your tie rod right there. That's all there is to it. When you're removing these, tie rod tools wedge in there and you drive them in, and it forces this stud off. It's an interference fit, and that pops it loose. Another thing you can do is like this. You're not going to reuse this. Take that castellated nut, loosen it, and then just hit that with a fucking hammer and drive it out. So here's my front end service kit. You can also use this stuff. So as you can see on the old one, there's no machine part to put your tool in. On the new stuff has it. See that little divot right there? And there's a divot on that one. There's a divot on that one. And there's a little tit on that one. So you'd get that in there, and that lines up nice, and that'll pop this out. When you're using these, you're going to destroy the boot, unless you're really lucky. Now the funny thing about these, if that's stuck in there for many years, this is just going to bend and fucking be useless. So each job's going to be a little different. I don't think I've ever used anything in this kit successfully. Alright, we're going to talk about front end alignment. You see this 1994 Jeep Cherokee Sport? Take a good look at it. If I bring this into tire center, they'll probably laugh at me when I tell them I'll try to align this. So now if you got a vehicle and you're going to spend $1,200 on tires, certainly get your front end aligned. But on a vehicle like this, we're going to line it ourselves. We're going to get it close enough to be not only drivable, but probably good on the tires, good on drivability, and really comfortable with its final alignment. All right, let's take a look at this. Right here is where the right tie rod is going to tie into the knuckle. Right here is where the left tie rod is going to tie into the knuckle. And I purposely have them set toe in right now. With the way I have them set, that's approximately 48 inches. Now let's move it to an obvious toe out condition. Now it's at 54. All right, I set those knuckles purposely at toe in and toe out. I just picked two random positions and then we measured it. So somewhere between 48 and 54 is going to be our dead center for our alignment. Now, if I do the math correctly, that gives me 6 inches to play with adjusting this rod. So we're going to line this new one up, match it to the old one. It'll fall somewhere within those two measurements because the way I set these was extreme just for visual aids on this. We'll get this matched to the old one, install it, then we'll worry about aligning in the future. All right, to get started, we're going to get our tie rod exactly the same as the old one was. Now you can already see it's a different design on this. This is 1994, this is 2020. We can certainly get it in the ballpark. One side's going to be right-handed threads, the other side's going to be left-handed threads. And as you rotate this, it's going to extend or retract these, changing this length. So for our initial installation, we're going to count how many turns we put these in. We'll start right here. Okay, turning this leftward causes it to go in. So we'll start right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Same thing over here. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, we got a way to go, it looks like. 1, 2. All right, I've already confused myself. One, 2. If you make a mistake, just take it apart and start over again. So let's see now. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm turning that one to the right. Now this one, if we look at it the same way, this one's going to turn to the left to go in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we're getting close. Counting tie rod end threads is one way to get the left-handed thread side and the right-handed thread side lined up. But as you can see, that's kind of a pain in the ass. And it's just not that critical. So what I'm going to do is use this calibrated measuring device. Just line up the ends approximately the same on each side, and we'll call it good. It's just not that critical. I'm going to take a break from this science project and run and get some Dremel attachments. Alright, here's where the tie rod end is going to connect to our knuckle on this side. And here's where it's going to connect on the right side. So as you can see, that's pretty rusty in there. We want that clean. You're told to put this together clean and dry. You want that bare metal, no grease or corrosion preventative. To clean that up, I'm going to use my Dremel tool. With this Dremel attachment, there are many ways to clean that knuckle machined area up, and this is the easiest. Definitely use eye protection with this. I'm going to put a little grease on here as a corrosion preventative measure. A little grease where the tie rod end stud goes into this knuckle. It's not required, but it's certainly not going to hurt anything. And someday this might have to come apart again. So that little bit in there, I'm happy with it. All right, let's take one last look at this before we install it. 43 inches. So using this little slot, let's turn it one turn. Forty-two and a half. One complete rotation of this bar turns this a ½ inch approximately. So these threads, they're just about bottomed out down there. No, it looks like they keep going. But I can see the end of that one right there. We'll just line this one up to the end. So we did all that work, but at the end of the day, a good starting point is at the end of this slot on each side. Just bottom it out there. And that's where we're going to install this. So it looks like the threads continue past this. Then we got all of this to play with. So this is where we'll install it. So we're going to match the new one up with the old one here. We are about a ½ inch off. So like we just discovered, turning this rod one turn will bring us in. One turn on that one. All right, we went the wrong way. No, that's lengthening again. All right, that's pretty well matched up. There's a good shot of the tooling from years of adjustments. You would think they just put some sort of slotted area on this to get a wrench on. Put the center link in first. protective cap off. This is non-adjustable. We'll support it here. The torque on these is 45 plus or minus 10. Some books will tell you to go to 35. And in those instruction manuals, they want you to increase the torque to the next slotted hole for the cotter pin. On others, it tells you to go to 55 and back it off. So 45 plus or minus 10, somewhere in there, you're going to find a cotter pin hole that'll line up, and that's where you want to torque it to. So the castellated nut is a number 19 metric. And that's got a tapered stud on it. It'll be an interference fit with this knuckle. All right, the left tie rod end. And this is not a protective boot, that's the actual grease cup. I almost fucked up 100 miles an hour trying to rip this thing off. So the expected result here is when we put this in there, it's going to look like it's lined up right. We pre-adjusted this rod the same way as the old one was. All right, we're gonna line this. But I'd feel comfortable getting in this and driving around. That's pretty damn straight. All right. Torque these and grease fittings, grease it up, and we're done with this part. There's 20. Boy, that cotter pin hole is way past these castellated nuts already. All right, so we're at 30 right now, and the hole is drilled too far up the stud for the castellated nut locking feature to fucking work. So I'm gonna have to buy a goddamn washer for this. Now, if this was on my knuckle, I would think the knuckle was worn the fuck out, but these are brand new parts. So this is not machined correctly. So I'm gonna go buy a washer. It's gonna have to be about a 1/4 inch, looks like. Let's take a look at the other ones and see if they're fucked up. All right, there's 30. Now let's hit the stop on this. There's 40. Okay, this one's gonna be all right. 40, 45. Let's go to 55 and just see what it looks like. There's 50. I like 55 for this. Because when I was at 30, that stud went farther in there. So there's a good interference fit at 55. And the locking feature will work. Fold that under nice like that so no one gets their hand cut. Might be me. All right, let's go torque the other side. So 35, and then you increase it to the next castellated slot. But I'm telling you, when I did that and then went to 55, that stud seated better in that machined area of the knuckle. So I'm thinking 55 is better. And there's 50. There's 55, and we're gonna have to go a little past it. No, there's 55. So 55, we're sure that that's seated, right? This is an old knuckle from 1994. There's 55. We're lined up. All right, sometimes life feeds you shit sandwich and all you can do is put more mustard on it. Obviously, Detroit axle doesn't have very good quality control. So I got a jeweler's or a engineering measuring tape here. So I'm going to have to get an 1/8 of an inch. 1/8 of an inch is what we're going to need. That's how far off this is. So right there is where the castellated nut feature is going to work. And that's an 1/8 of an inch. That's more than an 1/8 of an inch. So they drilled that hole in the wrong spot. I should get out my steel rule for this, but I'm too damn lazy. 3/8 of an inch. Misdrilled. Inch 20, fine. Let's grab 3 of those. That's about an 1/8 of an inch. Let's look at castellated nuts. Maybe the wrong nut was put in the bag with the rest of the stuff. We can get a castellated nut with a little higher profile. That'll work just as good as these washers. This looks like the best fix for this. All right, let's take a look at this and see what's going to work best. 2 washers and the supplied castellated nut. That'll work. That buildup doesn't look too bad. Where's this one? I would say that is the preferred method right there. That's going to work nicely. There's 30. There's 45. There's 55. There's 55. All right, the Zerk fittings on these are a number 7mm. These should go in finger tight. That one does. And that one doesn't want to go in. Who'd have thought that might happen? All right. Don't get mad about this. Just take it easy. And we'll run a tap in here. All right, those threads are cut in there. I can see them. So before we run this tap in here, let's make 100% sure okay, this is my specialty tool for just this exact situation. There's the correct threads. And that's the correct tap for this application. So let's very carefully clean up these threads. I can't believe we're doing this again. So there's what the problem is on this. The threads are in there. They're just not cut at a 90-degree angle to this. So the drill hole and then tap the threads that are tapped in there. They're just kind of off a little bit. Don't over torque these and snap them off. So that's just a real thin piece of metal on there. And there's not many threads. So don't Johnny torque that and fucking snap it off or strip it. If you do snap it off, that's the best tool to get it out. That'll fit in the part that's still in there and it'll back right out. It's not going to be the end of the world for you. That should thread in finger tight, no problem. If it doesn't, something's wrong. All right. Put known good grease in this. You just did all this work. put a good product grease that you know the condition of it. All right, see that filling up there? Boy, look how close that gets to this dust guard, man. Check these one more time. This Lincoln grease gun is off the Snap-on truck. There's my boot filling up. And there you see that one filling up. And that completes the installation of the center link and the tie rod.